And one of the stipulations when they reinstituted football, even though we were a member of the IIAC, it was going to be a non-scholarship football program. And we weren't in a conference, playing an independent schedule. In fact, it was almost impossible just trying to find games once you got into the season. But we had a president, Dr. D. Pasquale, who was a Domer, a Notre Dame man, and he really felt strongly about the NCAA. And they hired an athletic director in '81 by the name of Kevin White. Now, I don't know if that name rings a bell, but Kevin this was his first job at Loras College. He went from here to Maine to Tulane to Arizona State to Notre Dame, and he's now currently the AD at Duke. But he was the guy that really led the transition from Loras into the NCAA, into the Iowa Conference. We really felt that it was necessary, if football was to survive, that we got into a conference. And as I said, because we were a non-scholarship football program, it was important that we affiliated with NCAA 3. And then, of course, Kevin left, and actually the first year into the Iowa Conference, they appointed me the athletic director as well as the head football coach. But needless to say, I think Kevin and Dr. D. Pasquale were the people that laid the groundwork, and we felt the Iowa Conference was just a natural fit. You know, when you look at the schools in the Iowa Conference, they're quite similar to what we have at Loras College in philosophy, in terms of a total all sports program. So it was a natural fit for us. And I can speak back, the time that we were in the Iowa Conference. I love the competition. I love the competition. All great schools, all have great facilities, and it's every week it's a battle. Here, I'll tell you one story, which of course I think Dr. Weller, who was the president for a number of years at Central College. But one story that sort of sticks to mind. We, once upon a time, everybody had a grass field, and I know I'll never forget, during the season we had a soccer tournament here on a Friday night and then on the Saturday, and we were away, and it happened to be during one of those, about like what's going on out east right now with that hurricane. But it was just, they played it in the rain, and I'll tell you what, they came in. When Central came in to play us on Saturday, there was nothing but mud. I mean, you couldn't get, it wasn't a blade of grass. And I'll never forget Dr. Weller coming down on the field and saying, he just read me the riot act. And I basically said, Dr. Weller, you're talking to the wrong guy. The president's sitting right up there. You go and see him, and I'll tell you, ever since then, we probably had one of the finest grass fields in the Iowa Conference. In fact, that was one of the things that people commented when they come. Of course, the Rock Bowl is a beautiful, beautiful setting. And the thing I probably remember about the Iowa Conference, there were some great, great coaches, over the years. When you talk about a Ron Skipper at Central, my God, what he did at Central was just phenomenal. I think Jim Williams at Simpson, he put them on the map. Bobby Nielsen, when he really is the one that got the program going at Wartburg. And I think the guy that didn't get a lot of credit, we're going way back, was Paul Rudolph at Upper Iowa. I thought he was one heck of a football coach. But there's, been some great coaches, during my time in the Iowa Conference. I thought they were as good as you're going to find. I did have the opportunity, before I came to Loras, to coach at a Division I school in Northern Illinois. And I'll tell you what, when you look at some of the coaches at that level in that Mid-American Conference, but the coaches in the Iowa Conference are second to none. Anyway, I'm a Loras grad myself, so I graduated from Loras back in 1965 and had the opportunity to be a high school coach in I think 4 different high schools, and then I went to Northern Illinois, and then got the call from Bob Mullen when he was the AD at the time, when they resurrected the football program, to see if he'd be interested in coming back. And coached here at Loras for 25 years. I'll tell you, never regretted a day of it. Loved every minute of it, and still miss it. But at the end there, I know when I was going to step down, I know he talked with President Collins, and he said, you could really help out when you know so dang many people. If you could help us out, in development. And at that time, we were just building the Athletic Wellness Center, and also renovating the Rock Bowl. And of course, he asked me if I'd be willing to go out and knock on a few doors, and he said maybe for 2 years. And at the time, I think I might have signed a contract for 2 years. And after that was back in 2004. And of course, I don't have a contract anymore, but he still says, "Bob, we still need you." So, and I enjoy doing it. Like I was telling somebody today, one of the things that I enjoy, I mostly have contact with student athletes, and of course, it's sort of fun to go listen to their war stories and rehash some of the good times, but I enjoy it, and I don't know how much longer I said. I don't know. I'd still have a tough time walking away just because of the relationships. One thing about coaching, the wins and all that are great, but the thing that probably means the most to me are the relationships that you form, with student athletes. And like I just spent last week in Chicago, raising money, and of course, I went out to eat with a lot of guys, and like I tell them, I got to sit there and get abused for an hour. It's payback time with a lot of them. And the thing that probably impresses me the most, as I said, when I go out and visit with alums, just what they're doing. And to me, I sort of shake my head because I know what they were like when they were here and what they're doing now, and the success they had in whatever field and endeavor they chose is just mind-boggling. I've got some guys that the number of doctors that have gone through our football program. In fact, I just Dr. Mike McDermott, he's a doctor in the Chicago area, and he basically said, "God," he said, "you realize, Coach, that in my class alone there were 4 guys that went on to be doctors." I said, "Well, if you named them, I can remember who they were." But that's amazing. Where else can you find that, where you can have that experience, playing football and getting a quality education, and it's no hidden agenda, academically as to what you're in. They get no special favors, in the classroom. And the other thing that I find with those guys, and as I said earlier, the thing that keeps me going, these guys, they still talk about their experience, and that could have been 20-some years ago, like it was yesterday. And of course, they bring up a lot of these stories that maybe I wasn't even aware of or forgot. Not so much what happened during games, but basically what happened, maybe in practice or on the bus or in the motel or just after out of season. And to me, that I sort of enjoy listening to it, where they tell stories. Some I don't want to hear, and some I do. But I just think that at Division III, you play for the love of the game.